very good morning, everyone. Good morning. You're watching Chris on Real Talk again. So soon after the last one on this rainy, horrible Saturday, the 22nd of October, 2022. So if you're wondering what I'm banging on about because you couldn't be bothered to actually process the thumbnail, which I actually done a thumbnail for a change as well. I mean, get me. You know, my laziness is beginning to is subsiding. Protesters. I personally can't stand protesters, but what are your thoughts on protesters? Or does it depend on what they're protesting about? Because it gets to a point for me where I just don't care. I mean, I've said this a few times over the years. I just don't care what they're protesting about anymore. I don't care whether it's Extinction Rebellion. I don't care whether it's Save the Whales. I don't care what they're protesting over anymore, especially this new lot, Just Stop Oil. It drives me mad. It does. Because do you want your children to see that as a correct way to behave? I'm betting you're going to say no. I'm betting you're going to say no. So if I bring my children up in a specific way, okay, and it's the only way they can be brought up within a certain situation, rules, boundaries, what have you, yeah, and they want to have me bring them up a different way, which cannot be done because I lack the resources thereof to give them what they want. Say if they want a garden, right, I can't provide for them a garden, okay? It's physically and financially impossible for me to give them a garden to play in, what have you, right? And then they start sitting in other people's gardens out of protest. Trespassing. Okay, that's their protest. It's dangerous because they don't know other people, you see, or if they start gluing themselves to other people's garden fences because they saw some numpty do it on television because of Just Stop Oil. It's not the right thing to do, is it? Throwing your toys out the pram because you're not getting what you want is not the best way for people to get on your side. I mean, look at Extinction Rebellion, for example. And Just Stop Oil, actually. Both of them are in bed with each other, I reckon. Just throwing that out there. But their cause is noble. I understand where they're coming from with it. You know, I understand they care about your health. I understand they care about the planet. I get that. I understand they don't want us to keep using fossil fuels. I understand why they are doing what they're doing. I get it. I'm not oblivious to it. However, what gets me is how they go about doing it. Instead of educating people and being proactive about it, you know, and going places and doing seminars on in council town halls and stuff, in encouraging people to look for alternatives and support alternatives and to maybe not use so much fossil fuel or not drive to work as I'm doing right now and use public transport because, you know, 100 people using the bus is better than 100 cars being on the road. You see, go and educate people about said things. Go and educate people about the alternatives to fossil fuel, which are, to be honest with you, renewables and nuclear. I can't say this bloody word, nuclear, right? But the problem we have with nuclear and renewables is battery capacity. You know, it's all well and good saying we've got all this wind, we've all got wind, and tidal energy, and solar energy and everything else that goes along with renewables. But what's the point if we can't store that energy? You see, which tells me that nuclear power is the only way forward realistically, moving forward. but you know, it's still cleaner than using fossil fuel. But educate, instead of going around central London or anywhere else that can. Are we back? We're back. Yeah, instead of becoming a pain in the arse, gluing yourself to the roads, blocking the King's Highway, you know, try educating people on the benefits of using a hybrid or electric vehicle. I mean, I drive a hybrid now. It's not a plug-in hybrid because I was smart enough to know that the cost of electricity was going to go up. And that's true, and it did. But I haven't put any petrol in my car for a week, and I've still got 510 miles left. And I've been using it every single day. You know, it's very economical vehicle. But why would I want to go and get a plug-in hybrid when I've got nowhere to plug it in at all, given where I live? The cost of electricity is going up, and it's not going to get any cheaper at all. And all these protesters are gluing themselves to roads to say stop using fossil fuel, but what are they doing is they're stopping traffic. And I'm not gonna lie, people are stupid. They're not gonna sit there and switch their engines off. No, they're gonna sit there idling their engines, burning fuel, causing yet more pollution. And this is what they want, is it? You know, just stop oil. I mean, what was the argument the other day? These stupid kids that don't even know they've been born yet. And I love that expression because I never used to understand what it meant when I was a kid. But these kids that literally don't know they're born yet, going and throwing tomato soup over a Van Gogh. And if you're American, it is Van Gogh, not Van Gogh. It's Van Gogh. You pronounce the GH as F, as in enough. Van Gogh. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. And then they said, oh, what's more important? The environment and the use of oil, and it needs to stop, or a painting, basically. That was the crux of it. Well, I can tell you now, drawing attention to yourself like that, you dumbass, is going to make no one support you whatsoever. Between you, Extinction Rebellion, and every other protester that becomes a pain in the arse to me and the rest of the general public, I just don't care what you're supporting anymore. This is what I'm getting at. I genuinely could not give a toss what you're prattling on about, what you're protesting for. I just don't care. It makes me want to go and do what the thing is you're protesting about even more. I mean, just stop oil. If I had the money for a Mustang, a 5-litre V whatever the hell it is Mustang, and I could literally fill it up with V-power every day and tank it down the motorway just to piss you off, I would. 100%. If I could leave every single light bulb and electrical item on in my house just to piss you off, I would. Honestly, it is just, it's childish what these protesters are doing. Gluing themselves to the road, and I'm losing my words now, I do apologise. So gluing yourselves to the road and vandalising property. Vandalising works of art. Vandalising historical monuments and buildings. That's criminal, is what it is. And our kids are seeing that, and they're learning from that. Well, if we can't get what we want, we're going to go and be disgustingly behaved until we do get what we want. No. Doesn't work like that at all. Teach your kids to do as they're told. Because until they're 18, they live under your roof. In fact, even after they're 18, if they live under your roof, they do as they're told. But you teach them correctly. You do teach them there is a balance You do teach them about fossil fuel and it running out and the cost of it. And the thing is that, you know, everything in life has to be balanced out. You teach them about caring for the environment. You know, you didn't have to let them go, oh, look, on the internet I saw someone throwing soup at something. That must be a good way to behave. I'm going to go and copy that to get what I want out of life. I don't want my kids to see that crap. To be honest with you, I know my kids have seen that crap and they think they're a bunch of idiots anyway. You know, my kids are 13 and nearly 8. And they're actually disgusted with that behaviour. Because they know that if they did anything like that at home or something that resembles that when they're not getting their way, they will be punished. That's as simple as that. And the thing is, these people doing this with these protests, they need to be punished. It's criminal behaviour. I'm pretty sure there's a law against blocking the King's Highway or climbing up a bridge, on a suspension bridge, and dangling there unwashed for God knows how long. You know, I mean, it got to the point where I actually thought to myself, if he drops, would I care? No, because I've said it time and time again, and you'll probably all agree with me by now, I have absolutely no sympathy for stupidity. And I'm at a set of temporary traffic lights and someone was clearly on the telephone not seeing that the light was green, and now it's gone red again. Yay. But what's your opinion? What are your opinions on protesters? What do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think that it's ridiculously childish and that no one should protest like that just to get some attention? Just to be heard? Or do you think that maybe they should be doing that? Maybe they should be outlandish. Maybe they should be badly behaved to get that attention that they so sorely deserve, instead of being the sensible person and doing it in an informative and educational way. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. See you later. Mwah.